And if we all in the same system that's being cluttered by each other with aggravation, poor, don't have nothing to lose, we got a gun, we got anger, half of us mental, and we tend to take it out on each other. And we don't have nothing to do with each other's problem, but we take it out on each other, and that's what makes the problem become bigger. And the people around who know about this, they're not worried about it because it's not happening in their neighborhood, because it's closer to our neighborhood, and when they start getting closer to theirs, that's when they try to come up with a solution. Well, the time now is to find a solution now, not wait till they get closer to your neighborhood.
Now, in Iberia Parish, I know you've spoken with several representatives. As a matter of fact, you even campaigned for some of these representatives. With you speaking, campaigning, has there been any type of improvement in your surrounding areas, which would be District what, Mr. Kevin?
While campaigning for these guys, I talked to them just about every day. When they got in office, Secretary said he didn't have time to talk to me about issues and everything. Larry Richard, Tommy Pollitt, Marlo Lewis, all the people who are supposed to be representing our district. It's like they worried about drainage, not the problem of killings, guns, and trying to get the people together. Instead, they're more separated than anything.
Now, Kevin, the population in New Iberia, which would be about $35,000 on the outskirts of New Iberia, which is Jeanerette, Lurville, Lydia.
But they break them all. It's all one big, it's a tri-parish, the whole of 16. St. Martin, St. Mary, and Iberia.
And
that's all in the same thing. We all got one in each poor subdivision or poor neighborhood. As long as they stay in that section there, it's all right. But that's where the profits come. From them going to court, taking pleas, paying tickets, and getting charges for nothing.
You make some serious statement, and by making them, I know we could also back them up. One, when we done the segment yesterday, you made a viable part a statement when you mentioned about they have like the RV.
Oh, Sugarina. Okay, they took all the funds from the inner parks.
Okay, the Sugarina.
Took from West End and part of City Park.
And the Sugarina is a $1 million business.
Millions.
Millions.
Yeah.
Okay, millions.
and investors.
Okay, investors.
Took from the city.
They took from the city. And when they took it from the city, how did they take it from the city? Through the meeting that they had.
The meeting that they had, Parks and Recreation was the first one where they drew the revenues from that and made it go down so they can put it on the other side. And once they got it up, it was supposed to be open to the public because they thought poor people weren't going to be able to go on that other end to swim. Well, a lot of poor people started riding their bicycle and catching rides. Then they started giving more funds to open back City Park. They had already been filled up the Western Park pool with dirt and cement.
Right, right. And when we're talking about they are our representatives. So the representatives out of Iberia Parish, they decided with Park and Recreation, they decided to close down the Western Park. All right, they closed it down. So that meant that all of the other kids, the majority black kids, they would go to City Park. So then when they would go to City Park, that pissed them off a whole lot because they didn't want...
Well, Sugarina was opened up to separate it even more because we had more black folks moving across the bayou closer to City Park. And now City Park was starting to get cluttered with a lot of poor people that they thought was poor. And they don't realize it had just about as much white as black. But being that they was mixing together, it was all in the same pot to them.
Okay, okay. And the Sugarina is exactly what? What is that facility?
It's supposed to be a facility for Iberia Parish to come and have fun, have recreations, but West End don't have RVs. They put new water springs, all kind of stuff in the new pool, when they could have just spent half the money they spent over there and put it right there in West End and give these kids today something to do.
Right.
Today the new thing is shooting. It's the new game they play, shooting each other. And half of them don't know what they're doing. They're just doing it because they're scared.
Yes, that is exactly correct. And we're talking about issues in Iberia Parish and surrounding issues. So you could call us. It's an open dialogue. The telephone number is 337-366-8951. I'm with Mr. Kevin out of Iberia Parish, which he was in the. He was also in the Time magazine, and Mr. Kevin was referred to as one of the unofficial mayor of Iberia Parish. And you know what? Being an activist, Mr. Kevin, with your feet to the ground, your business is with the barber shop. I mean.
My business is with the people, the public.
Okay.
I cater to them. I mean, and if they can't speak, I'm supposed to speak. And if other barbers and business owners would come out and say something, then you might see a change. But everybody happy where they at. And that's the problem we get today. You know, they let the money change them. Money don't buy you love. Money don't buy you future. And that's what a lot of them don't understand. Once you sell that soul, that's it, it's gone.
Yes. Now also, Mr. Kevin, they don't seem to be. You're surrounded by these different type of neighborhood. I'm not going to call them what they want us to call them, but let's say the housing development. You're surrounded by 3 different housing
projects. I mean, we gonna call it how it's supposed to go. It's called projects in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I mean, the educated people want to call it housing authority. It's the projects, and each one they close and they opening up another one because you're putting the same people with the same mentality in them.
Okay, so we're going to call them the housing authority / projects and everything. But I just know that as much as we could talk about the problems that arises and have been going on in Iberia Parish, one of the main problems would be the police department. Now the police department, we had like a city police department and a parish police department. The police department, they would disband it because of continuous problems.
Well, lawsuits took them down. I mean, they had the same problem with the city back in the day. And they canceled them out, and the same people that made the city go bad started working for the sheriff. So throughout time, it became the same infestation. Corrupt people doing things what they weren't supposed to be doing, and people started talking up. I was one of them, so that's the problem we got today. People don't want to say it was true.
Excuse me, Mr. Kevin, let me go to caller. You have a question or a comment for Mr. Kevin or myself, and our topic is defending our community.
I'm so glad you guys are back on the air talking about this issue. It's an ongoing issue, Brother Kevin. I definitely salute you. And we also want to salute the voices of African Americans for giving that time slot to talk about these important issues. It's very important that we express how urgent the situation is in New Iberia. Even though this show goes out to the whole 5 parish area, it's very important. New Iberia is the canary in the mine. So goes New Iberia, so goes every other community. New Iberia, Brother Kevin, is experiencing a very serious gun violence problem. And we could get back and forth, go back and forth on what is so-called black-on-black crime or so forth. But when you have the number of black males, 11 reported on the show yesterday, and 8 unsolved murders of black males, that's a problem. Statistically, it does not match. And sister, I did give you the wrong information. Apparently, last time I checked, New Iberia, we thought New Iberia was 35,000 within the city. But according to the 2016 report, they have lost total close to 5,000 people. That's troubling that a city that was once 35,000, they down to 30,000. The statistics I just handed to you. So there's a problem. People are leaving New Iberia because of the crime problem, because of the violence violence, because of bad law enforcement. You have this as a pilot case, Brother Kevin. And one of the things we got to start now looking for solutions. First, we got to fix the problem at the top. Fix law enforcement. Try to fix it. It's never going to be perfect, but historically, the problems in New Iberia with law enforcement has always been there. They keep recycling the same employees, the same deputies, the same people that have been put on some type of program for violating people's civil rights. They keep recycling them from the city police to the sheriff department. And until the politicians, until the city council, black and white, recognize that this is the problem, we never going to solve the crime problem. And the issue of the number of guns on the street in the city of New Iberia in the hands of irresponsible young people who are killing themselves, killing each other, that's troubling. That would make anybody sit up and take notice. You don't want it to be your mother, Brother Kevin, Sister Khadijah, any of your ladies who got killed last summer in the city of New Iberia because people want to spray a house with bullets, or the young person that got killed this week, or the other random shooting of people who didn't die. This is a problem in the city of New Iberia, and I think the politicians have stuck their head in the ground, Brother Kevin. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to talk about it. Like you say, they want to talk about all types of benign issues. We know we have a drainage problem in New Iberia. That's part of the racism in Iberia Parish, where the West End always flooded. But the whole issue of these young people, blood on the streets of New Iberia, is not being addressed. State and local officials. Representative Land, if you're listening, reach out to the grassroots activists. They know what's happening on the ground. Reach out. This is your area. You are a former law enforcement official. You should know how to come in and try to help solve or alleviate this problem. Just having tough cops and kicking doors is not going to solve the problem, because people won't cooperate. You're going to have people who are afraid of dealing with law enforcement, and they're going to take the law into their own hands. So we as a community need to demand that these politicians get with us and try to help solve this problem of all of these young people, especially young black males. That's a troubling statistic. Anywhere else in the city of 30,000, that many murders. Come on now, people. Sisters. And Brother Kevin, I definitely salute you for getting involved.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we need to just have you just come set up on the set with us. You thank you so much for what you do with keeping.
But we keep trying to blame the law officers. They don't stay in our neighborhood. It's us, the people. They work for us. We got to give them the information, make sure they take it to a higher standard.
We got to give them. We got to give the police the information. You're talking about
we, the people, us,
okay,
in that area.
All right.
We the one supposed to police ourselves.
All right.
And come together and talk about who's the problem. No matter if it's a family member or not. If you know this boy is shooting compulsively, turn him in before he shoots somebody you know. But I don't blame the cop in a situation when he come back there and no, I didn't see that. You was right there. Oh, I didn't. And another thing with some of the cops, they come and harass people, and just about everybody in our area on parole or probation.
Correct.
So if you're in an area with a gun, you're violating right there. So a lot of them don't want to talk because next thing you're getting a call from your parole officer. You're in violation. The officer told me you was in this area. What you doing there? Well, you had to walk home. That area is where he stayed. You know, they put all the blacks in an infested area with probation and parole. Every little thing violates. If you bother a convicted felon, you're already in violation. So that means you're walking around like a quiet little mouse. You cannot say nothing, you saw a lot. You want to say something, but then you're going to violate your own self. They're not worried about the crime, they're worried about why you was by the crime.
Yeah.
You didn't do it, you're trying to tell him who did it.
Right.
So now they're harassing you. So that's I take off my hat for those guys, because a lot of them come to me and tell me about stuff that didn't so, but they can't give their name because they're on parole or probation. Yeah. And the average cop today, they want to lock him up.
Right.
Why was he in the area? Okay, you didn't ask why he was in there. You're trying to find out who did the shooting, right?
Right. Right.
I mean, every crime boss in the mafia got immunity. Why they can't get it and say, okay, you tell us what happened, don't worry about your parole or probation calling you. Mm-hmm. And that's what we don't get back then. You would solve a lot of the crimes if you had an officer who knew how to talk to people.
Right. Correct. If you had an officer that knew how to talk to people, and you also bring up, well, they have this some type of mentality where, oh, don't snitch. Well, if don't snitch, and your take on the don't snitch would be
snitching came from the dope game way back in the 80s. It's crazy how now that the mentality of it had got to the youngsters, even the 3- and 4-year-old, talking about snitching, don't even understand it. Snitching was in the dope game when the prosecutor and the DA got together and they gave him a deal. If you tell on somebody else in the dope game, we'll knock some years off. That's what snitching was back in the day. Today, if you're shooting somebody or robbing somebody's house, that's not snitching. That's telling on this person to stop him from doing what he's doing. He violated his own neighborhood in your neighborhood. So that's the difference between snitching and telling. It takes a bigger person to tell than to snitch.
Okay. It takes a bigger person to tell than to snitch and everything. And if you're snitching,
well, snitching, like I said, came from the dope game back in the day, and now everybody just use it for any and every. Oh, you a snitch?
Oh, you're a snitch.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You telling them what was wrong. I mean, if I see my neighbors getting robbed, I'm telling you can call me what you want, because if I don't tell, you're gonna rob me next.
Correct.
Because you think I'm scared of you now. And that's how they put in your mind that you're a snitch. And if you leave it there, it's gonna keep. Oh, I can't see. They're gonna call me a snitch. No.
Right. And yes, indeed, we are talking about issues in our community and defending our community. You have Mr. Kevin, who is an activist out in Southwest Louisiana, and myself, Sister Khadijah, also have Brother Jay, and we want to thank, Voices of African American for giving us this opportunity. Sister Jamila, how you doing? Happy belated Earth Day. Nutsi, your Queen Stella, and it's so pressing what's going on in the community, and I don't see prayers doing too much.
Well, I'm not a Christian, not a Muslim, I'm a believer of people. We can do better. If you got to go to church to tell your pastor or whatever to do it, go to your church and tell your pastor. Let's hope he can go and tell the Lord the right story. But the thing is, we the people that those people supposed to be representing that we put in office, they work for us. We're not supposed to be working for them, but if they don't hear our voice, then guess what? We nothing but a vote to them. And once they get in, all they do is pull their own self together. What kind of deal can I make in this neighborhood? That's all it is. Let's knock an abandoned house down. Well, what that got to do with a crackhead staying there because he's homeless? Y'all knocked down Buck Johnson. Look the money y'all spent to build it. I mean, y'all took the trees out. In these big old rural areas, I done saw them pay to move a tree. $1 million. This tree was there before. That should have been grandfathered in. You couldn't leave the so-called drug users a tree to hang out under. I mean, why are we so important about knocking a park down?
Yeah, and
they didn't have no murders in Buck Johnson. They had a place to go out and hang out with the people like them.
Yeah, that's right.
And to all these true Christians who believe in God and doing the godly thing, why you don't go over there and help some of these people who are homeless and on drugs, if you're so Christian? Instead of talking about them and all that, because we all got a family member hooked on some kind of drug. And if we can't talk about ours, why are we talking about those?
Right. And yes, indeed, that's an important analogy that you made with them knocking down Buck Johnson Park, because it seems like everything that's rebuilt is on Main Street. When it comes down to Hopkins, when it comes down to Persia.
Hopkins is the grant money. They get grants for Hopkins. And then once they get the grant, it goes to the other side of town. And what they give us? Change.
Kevin,
they give us the change
Kevin,
to build a sidewalk that don't ever go all the way through the road.
That's correct.
And then the cop pass and then ask you to get up the street. But where you want me to walk at? Our sidewalk done ran out.
Yeah, Kevin,
but you're putting your lights on.
That is an ideal paper trail, because you could go back and you could go right there and say, oh, well, y'all received $500,000 for the Hopkins Street revitalization of Hopkins Street, but yet only $2,000 went there, and what you said yesterday, they're not even real contractors that come on Hopkins
Get the
Street.
lowest contractor available, no matter where they come from. Just tell them you can do it and they're gonna let you do it. It's Hopkins Street, we don't care, keep patching it. And that's the way our council members, who's supposed to be representing, allow this. Do y'all go and check these contractors? No, because they gave the lowest bid, let's give them the job, we can use the other money on the other side of town. Like I said, Sugarcane Festival coming up, so now they gotta beautify it and make it look so lovely for tourists to come.
Yes.
But all the tourists coming to see a tractor parade with just farmers and homemade queens and kings that they make up.
You are right. You are right. And you got to be in that organization in order to participate.
You got to buy in that organization. I used to do the Sugarcane Parade long time ago when they allowed black folk to participate, even though we started it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden when they saw revenue, they took over it.
Yeah, you said.
But it wasn't about money with the black folk. It was celebrating the ending of grinding.
You're right.
That way they can relax themselves because they have been in that field so long. Now it's about how much money can we make. And they're using the poor folks. I'm not saying just black folks. White folks, y'all just like the poor black folks. No matter how, it's about the dollar. I mean, they don't care middle class. There's no class to them. If you don't have millions, you're not with them. But they will use you to do something stupid to get their stupid message out.
That's right. That's right. Brown. It was called brown sugar back in the day. It was brown sugar, and they took it. When I say they, you're talking about the what's that company? Well, they the one that try to like put monies make you love Iberia Parish. What's it called? The one that's in charge of trying to put money out in the in their community.
Well, what it's called bank. Iberia Bank. All these banks are big investors in this. It's revenue. They got to sell this. If they got to put out $1 to make $10, they're going to do that. But then they give us pennies on $1 because we had started our own little parade a couple of years ago on Hopkins Street to separate us from it. No problem until the police officers came.
That's right. That's right, Kevin.
And that's the problem we get. If you send officers who's not afraid and not scared to come talk to people, you won't have a problem.
You're right. You're right.
You know, last year parade they had Youngville Police Department.
Yes,
no
sure
trouble,
no
trouble at all,
whatsoever.
because those guys can't do their job. They didn't use their badge as a weapon of honor.
That's right. That's right.
Like you don't see I got a badge, you better bend. No. You work for me no matter what badge you got.
That's
and
right.
half the people not understand
That's
it.
right.
You got to be the person to say something.
I don't even believe they had even one incident when the Youngsville department took over Iberia Parish Sugarcane Festival. And then
they did. AOC blocked off the courthouse so they wouldn't.
And that's what I was about to say. AOC, Sheriff AOC, he took and he blocked it all off, have all of this space. Now, you know something is wrong with Iberia Parish. Y'all, they actually wanted it to fail. Well, there was problems, and y'all see we need AOC. You know.
No, we don't need AOC. It's the people who know what AOC doing need AOC.
That's right. That's right.
As long as there's corruption, it's money. And that's what they don't understand. You go to the courtroom from Monday to Thursday. Blacks 80%, poor whites 20%. People with money and lawyers, you don't see them in there.
No.
They let them go. And that's what people, as long as they keep us people, black, white, Asian, no matter what your race, as long as they keep us arguing with each other with change, they done made their money. They done made their whole little story go away.
Now, you're right. Now, Kevin, I remember a meeting where you, myself, Mr. Donald, and there was another lady that was there. I don't know who she was, but then AOC had this meeting on the first floor in his conference room in Iberia Parish. And he was like just telling people, okay, well, we got this, we need to increase the tax because we have some lawsuit here, and the lawsuit...
No, he wasn't telling people there was going to increase. He was increasing. He wouldn't tell it, because everybody on his little board, I call it the mafia board,
you're right,
wouldn't interrupt him, wouldn't say, well, boss, what about this? Whatever boss said, that's what boss was doing.
You're right.
Nobody interrupt boss while boss talking. And that's the way it was, like a big organized crime. He was the Don, and everybody, even his little police chief assistant, Hazelwood, who's a retired state trooper. He another one. racist to the highest.
Correct.
But, you know, and I tell her, and now he got black people in his family. Because of the hate that he created, his daughter went and go with a black guy. And now she got children, and now he starting to like black people.
But yeah, when you say that's Hazelwood Senior, remember we also have
Hazelwood Junior got the little seizure stuff that they go take people and use the government's
right, and he was given a slap on the wrist for
when he was on narcotics back in the day. He was taking their money in dope and putting it right back on the street.
Using the computer system.
And he was also abusing
to track people.
The DEA.
Yeah, he was also abusing the computer system to attack
for his private business.
For his private business.
Federal computer system.
That's right, and that's the same.
He was on the task force with the DEA and
right. He was on the task force with the DEA
and the local law enforcement.
And the local law enforcement, and that's the same. Well, and that's Hazelwood Senior. Hazelwood Senior is the one that worked for ALCO. You got the Hazelwood Junior. He was the same one some 12 years ago that took.
For the city.
Yeah,
that he was one of them that helped close the city police department.
That's right. And he was also the one, Kevin, that took and beat up Deshauna Mallory. Deshauna Mallory was a young girl, is a young girl out of New Iberia when Hazelwood came to her home. She asked for someone. She said he don't live here, and she closed the door. And because she closed the door in Hazelwood, who was almost 280 pounds at that particular time,
didn't even have a search warrant.
Didn't even have a search warrant. You're right.
But he can get a judge to sign it afterwards.
That's right. That's right.
They work together. As long as they find some kind of probable cause of a drug trafficking or whatever, they can associate make up one, and the judge is signing no matter if they right or not, because they don't even investigate it.
You are right. You are absolutely correct.
So, the problem is not the police department, it's the people who running the police department.
Correct.
These officers that go out there and do these bad things, they really don't know they're doing bad because they get awarded.
Yeah, but Kevin, they know they're doing bad. They're doing the badness from the top. It's the top that's giving them.
If your boss telling you go out and do what you got to do to make a case, then I can't blame them. They want a position. These are some guys who got a badge who was nobody back in the day, and now they think that the badge makes them somebody.
Yes.
And you can't look them in the eye to them. And I tell everybody, like, why are you running? Wave at them. They work for you. Let them know you appreciate them. And that's the problem that I keep saying. We, the people, not the police department, are the problem. We got to start speaking what we see and say what we see.
Right. And it still exists rampant today because New Iberia also have this little commercial where this police officer who's on Crime Stopper, and he's saying that y'all who's stealing it, y'all not like the hard-working people in Iberia Parish. That I can't think of his name, but that's that same little Pee Wee Herman looking police officer that took and planted drugs in the front of a van. That's the same little one that was a no good. And then what's his name? He's on the Crime Stopper of New Iberia. Got that little slick hair on the side. That's a no good cop. You hear me? I can't think of it.
They know this and they're hiding and put him in that position for this.
Yeah, they
because the people don't speak up. We keep trying to make the police department responsible if we not responsible. Until we start being responsible and show them that we mean business, they're not gonna do nothing.
Kevin, if I'm if I'm paying my taxes and as a registered voter and I'm paying your salary, what is it? I mean, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be a trained professional.
You heard me say, supposed to be a trained professional. They don't take no classes. They can be in jail for 2 years and become a cop. They can't even shoot.
Or wrestling.
Yeah, or like the two guys, the wardens who I take my hat off on, who turned state on ACO.
Yeah.
After the buying and the pressure got on them.
Yes.
They went out there and told everything that this man allowed them to do.
That's right.
So I'm not mad at them.
Yes.
If you're a boss and you're allowing anybody to disrespect your company or business, you part of that. And you tell them, I'm gonna give you a raise if you do this. They're gonna do it.
Yes.
Not knowing better because half of them not even smart.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's ignorance.
Yes, we're defending our community, talking about different issues that's in Southwest Louisiana. And you have Mr. Kevin and you have myself, Sister Khadijah. Caller, you have a question or a comment?
Basically a comment. Good evening, Sister Khadijah and Mr. Kevin.
Oh, yes.
I was one of your call on yesterday, and I'm hearing everything that you guys are saying. The problem is, I think, is with the community. The people in the community is not really ready to stand up and get themselves out of that prison that they're in within their neighborhood. Because I haven't heard you guys say that y'all constantly going to government meeting, city government meeting. Here we have consolidated government meetings. And Mama always told me, you know, bless her soul, a closed mouth never gets fed. And you guys, what y'all saying, I agree with y'all 100%. But I always say, if you don't cut the head off the snake, just cutting the tail, he's going to keep on biting folks, whatever is going to be out there, you know. I used to be scared of, I was in this camp one time, and I used to be scared of a white guy taking a snake, cutting the railings off, and putting the snake off in the dormitory, you know, because you never hear him coming. And see, this is the thing that I feel that you guys should be doing. Going to these council meetings, you know, complaining, recording these council meetings and letting people know what you're trying to do. And you could do it in numbers.
Yes.
I guarantee you, once you're doing something in numbers, it's going to happen. Here in Lafayette, you know, we was having what you call hot spots. You know, and the hot spots, it was all the drug dealers, the crime written in those areas. And they came up with cameras. They got cameras watching each side of the main street. You know, you got a rotating camera on it. And you guys would have to see how maybe Sister Khadijah, you could get with somebody here and let them show you how these cameras work. And you too, Mr. Kevin. And these cameras here can stop a whole lot crime in this area that was infested with crime. You know, and maybe this is what we might have to do to kind of bring things together.
Okay.
Kind of bring things together, you know, within the your community.
Yes.
You know, because I'm hearing y'all fighting, y'all trying to wake up the community. I always say throwing bricks in the graveyard. Sometimes you throw bricks in the graveyard and nobody gonna throw them back.
Right.
You know, and this is what's happening right now. You know, these youngsters, they let the TV babysit them. You know, Elijah Muhammad told me one time, well, I heard a speech saying that the TV was the 1 hour mountain because that was going to be raising our kids. And it seems like this is what happens, your video games. Some of these guys think, you know, they play video games. You know, I can shoot this one, turn off my video game tomorrow morning or whenever I want to come back, turn it back on and get the same guy again.
Yes.
It don't work like that because when you kill one, you lose one.
Okay.
One's going to the grave, and the other one's going to the living grave. And these guys got to understand that.
Okay.
You know? So, again, you guys are having a very wonderful show. Keep on speaking truth problem, and we'll talk again later on.
Yes, thank you so much, Brother Ross, and you keep up the good work. And one question that one statement that you brought up was the fact that we need to go to these different meetings. Well, what do we hire elected officials for? They're supposed to represent their constituents, which is the taxpaying citizen, and they're supposed to represent us at these particular meetings. But what's happening is that the constituents are not being represented. I went to the parish council meeting for 3 years straight to try to get a picture of the Honorable Judge Carl Williams, who was a superb judge out in the 16 JDC. He was superb. He wound up losing his life, and till today, nobody had the courage to stand up to those crooked district attorney like Phil Haney, Robbie Vines, what's the one that has cancer?
Bo Dewey.
Bo Dewey. None of them had the integrity to stand up like the Honorable Judge Carl Williams done. And it took 3 years going back and forth, playing mind games. And mind you, the picture only cost $187. I told
you were starting to make the courtroom black and white. You
Well-
was putting the first black guy
Well,
who did his job.
Okay.
And that's what they were afraid of.
All right. Well, Mr. Kevin, when you look at the courthouse, you see all of these white men with beards coming down to their chest, and who
Grandfather New Iberia to what it is now. Nothing.
Nothing. Yes. Caller, you have a question or a comment?
Yes, I have to call back and chime in and piggyback somewhat on Brother Wilder's comments about. And I definitely appreciate his interest in his guidance. But dealing with a different animal here, Brother Kevin, I know you agree, but when we deal with New Iberia, Louisiana, we deal with consolidated government, which is Lafayette. We have politicians who are absent, who are AOL in the community. And when you elect a politician, Brother Kevin, I know you would agree with me, you elect people who are saying they want to be leaders, right? Leaders in the community.
Saying they want to be leaders, but they follow it. They follow it.
Yeah.
They talk about the last person who was doing not such a good job, and you come and do not such a good job in a couple of months.
Well,
So
the thing is, we elect in leadership, and it should be leadership leading New Iberia right now with the sense of social epidemic and the number of killings, and that's what my focus is on. Where's the leadership? Where's the leadership on the local level? Where it is in the city hall? Where is it on the state level? We're going to have to let United States Congressman Cedric Richmond come into New Iberia to have a town hall meeting when the politician wouldn't even convene one for this situation. Well, I hope it's soon. And again, I understand. Sometimes you can't even shame them into doing nothing right, Sister Khadijah. Remember the New York Times article about New Iberia? Just talk about the problems in New Iberia with the article. They talked about the overall mentality of the people in the 16th JDC. Well, if they don't want to be written about the number of black males or young people, or everybody who's getting shot and killed in New Iberia, being written up, well, that's on him.
Right.
No wonder they're losing population.
And there's
no wonder they're not growing their business at a rate for a city size for so many years. And until we start saying this boycott New Iberia, leadership, so that's to make a long story short, and I know I'm betting, but we have tried to reach out to the politicians, and they know what's wrong with New Iberia.
Right. And
you shouldn't have to go to a meeting and get picked out of a meeting because they won't let us get on the agenda.
That's right.
You know that, sister.
Yeah.
It's a different animal, Brother Wallace. It's a different animal. New Iberia is unlike no other when it comes to racism and corruptness.
Well, New Iberia is different because of the people in New Iberia. We don't talk about the numbers of people. Let's all go together to the courtroom and listen to these meetings and let them hear our views. It's not about waiting for them to give us time. We got to take our time.
And Kevin, also, I remember going to Hilda Curry, previous mayor, and asking to get on the agenda. But what you want to talk, well, her secretary, what is it that you want to talk about? Well, I want to talk about police brutality. Well, that's not on the agenda. Well, okay. Why don't you put it on the agenda? Well, that's not going to be discussed. You have to talk about what we have, this fixed agenda, which is nothing but a bunch of bullshit that they done put together to just make a meeting go. I mean, it seems like to me you should have like a certain day of the month, just like what Lafayette do. There's a certain day of the month where people could come in and they could discuss anything that they want.
But that's why Lafayette is prospering. And New Iberia is dying. No matter how many business New Iberia get, every time you lose a person out of there, you're taking profits away from y'all. And that's the only way you get back at them is profits. How much is enough for them? They don't have enough because this greed is worse than drugs.
Right.
Once they start getting money, they want more, and they start eating each other. And they try to blame drugs for bringing people down. It's not the drugs, it's the people who overseeing the drugs, like the court system, who want to send you to a drug court that you got to pay for, and you can't take a painkiller because now you're violated.
That's right.
But you can pay for your freedom. Where does that money go when this person got to pay almost $60 to $70 a month just to go to a class that nobody listened to them about? But yet still they want to call you a failure to society. Well, the society failing them. Because these people are not educated enough or don't have family or friends to talk to them. Because everybody in their family is illiterate. So somebody got to talk to them with sense. And they don't have that back there in my area. And a lot of people today, and especially black folks, we don't want to hear the truth no more.
Right.
We all got some mess up in the family. Let's start getting together and point them out. That way it could be like it used to be when I was coming up. We didn't have no police in our neighborhood. No, you couldn't leave your windows open, keys in the car. You didn't have nobody go and sit or borrow or take something out of that.
Right.
But today we robbing each other, and we still pointing the finger at the police. It's not them, it's us. And once we get together, they're gonna start listening to us.
Now, now, Mr. Kevin, the caller had mentioned about having cameras in these hot spots.
That would work way better than getting the city to
Well, you know what? I don't have a problem with having cameras in these hot spots, but it's well documented that some of your best drug deals is in these elite homes where they don't.
Well, that's the problem with their problem is some of their kids and cousins might be caught on that film doing transactions in the neighborhood. And that's where they come with, oh, it's violating their rights. No.
Yeah.
Your child, which I see more white children in my neighborhood than anything, trading drugs for gun. But yet still, how are we getting the gun? Through them. And they want to play crazy. Every month there's a gun show. You can go in there and buy you a gun. Now, if you're black, you better have a military background. But no, I'm telling the truth. I mean, a white kid who have mental problem can go buy a gun. No background check, as long as you got the cash money.
Yeah.
The black child who got good credit, good everything, they want to do a background check on you.
Yeah, and they're going to do a background check on them.
But that child would wait, he would get the gun on the street within a month because that same child that the parent buying that gun for, he come and trade it for some kind of drugs.
And it's just also the unsolved murder. You know, we have like
they unsolved because they don't want to solve them.
Okay.
Like I said before, the people know who killed and who shot. They got bullets with fingerprints with people in the record. But as long as they staying in that area killing off the people who are supposed to be bad to them, they're gonna let them do their job.
That's some scary statistics, really.
Well, this is life, and like I tell everybody, welcome to the hood. This is the way things go. I mean, and these people know who done it, but then they'll have a meeting. Well, leave him out there, let him retaliate. There's 2 more niggas we got out of the way. Point blank.
Yes, indeed. And it's just so heart-wrenching.
A hard truth.
You know.
And to those people, I keep saying, who know something and don't say something, you part of it. It's not about black, white. If you saw something and you don't say something, you part of it. Point blank. And that's what people don't want to hear. Oh man, they might retaliate. There's no such thing as retaliation for telling the truth. None of that.
Oh, okay. There's no such such thing as retaliation for telling the truth. And yes, indeed, I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly that when we say they and everything, we could just about do a paper trail where you know who they are.
And all the business people, Black, Asian, Arabians, where they at? This your people. This is the people you're living off of. Why are you not trying to fight for their right? But as long as they're making money off of them, they don't care about that because nobody complains. Because they lose one, they're going to gain two more in the business. And that's the way they look at it. Numbers.
Numbers, yeah.
You know, everybody blamed the little store in Hopkins, the one stop, for all this shooting on. No, they're not the problem.
They're not the problem.
It's the people going to support them, the problem. They don't care for us at all. They care about that dollar. They make you think they like you and all that. No, they like your dollar.
That is the truth. That is the hard truth.
Every mom and pop store back in the day that was owned by black folk, either owned by Asians or Arabians. I'm not mad at them people. They come in and they're about business. I'm mad at the children who could have picked up this store and did something with it because this same store sent you to college to get an education. And what you do? Opposite of what your parents died for to try to leave this for you. You have no overhead. All you got to do is come and be a person like your parents were, but none of them live up to the standards of their parents. So what happened? They come in and they sell from pig feet to head.
Yeah,
and black folks cater to it.
They cater to it. And yes, indeed, and we would like to thank everybody that participated in our program, defending our community. Mr. Kevin is going to be doing a segment either once a month, once every month, and we look forward to this uprising activists in our community.
And I'll try to get some of the black business owners, some of our council members, some of the people I voted for, Larry Richard, Marlon Lewis, Tommy Pollitt, Terry Landry. See what they got the input to come and make me wrong, if I am.
Well, yeah, well, Mr. Landry, he do a whole lot of things in the community and everything.
I see him pass every now and then, he don't stop.
Well, yeah, he probably...
He stop for a vote, though. I mean, you can stop and say, hey, man, you still getting my money, you still getting paid by me. You can stop and say, man, I appreciate what you done. He don't do none of that.
Well, you know...
And I voted for him.
You're not the only one that voted for him.
Okay, but I can say what he don't do. He'll pass through on a new F-150. I'm paying for it.
Well, yes, as you can see, he's unscripted, and sometimes it's kind of hard dealing with him being raw like that, but...
No, it's not raw, it's real. It's real, and that's what people don't want to hear.
Okay, and yes, indeed, and of course, we want to thank everybody for participating. We plan on bringing Mr. Kevin either once a month or every other month whenever his time is available.
And I want some white people, too, to interview, because y'all, without y'all, we can't do this. We got to do this together. Because y'all got black in the family now, too.
And yes, indeed, and this has been a live segment. And yes, indeed, we want to send out our deepest prayers to Houston, Lake Charles, to Port Arthur, with the Harvey hurricane and everything. And we just want to let our people know that we are praying for them, and we will be doing something in the future, Mr. Kevin, on behalf of our Harvey victims. This has been a live segment. I've been your host, Sister Khadijah. Mr. Kevin has been your unscripted activist. Carla, you have a question or a comment? Go ahead. We have a few minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is one of the whites that's been listening to y'all.
Oh, all right.
Last night I called in, and I'm calling in again. And whatever he's saying is right. The gentleman before said we have hot spots out there with cameras. They do on Simcoe. They used to have hanging shoes on the telephone lines. The guy out there in Iberia.
That's the drug spot.
Then they're suckers are right there selling it.
That's the drug spot. That's to let you know it's there.
I'm sure accountable and actually do cops if they knew what that was, if they knew anything about it. No, they never heard of tennis shoes hanging over the power lines. That's how they mark their spot. And if you're in their spot, they're going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Don't have a good one.
And paperwork they don't have.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Good night. Thank you so much, sir, for calling in. Well, Kevin, we are getting ready to close. You have 30 seconds for closing comment.
People, once again, if you know something, don't say something. You're part of the problem. Part of the problem. Say something. If you're scared to go to the cop, come to me or somebody or your pastor that you believe in.
Or Kevin, even
Hopefully they don't work for the sheriff department, because a lot of them, the pastor's working for the sheriff department. They won't tell the true story, but I don't work for nobody.
Okay, Kevin, and also part of the solution, because we can't just put our problems in our solution. We can have a box at your facility, and you could come and you could leave like things that we need to discuss or what's going on.
The solution is us getting together.
Okay.
Once we get together, the problem is solved.
Okay.
Off top, we got to stop letting them think they over us. They work for us, and as long as we run from them, they feel they don't have to work for us.
Yes. Yes, and like I stated, that's Mr. Kevin, unscripted, raw to the point, and we are just thanking everybody that participated, and look forward to seeing Mr. Kevin with his guests or myself coming live real soon back again at AOC. We want to thank everybody, and please continue to pray for our Harvey constituents. Yes.